Welcome to another episode of the So Here For It podcast. I am your host, Amy Mingan, and it is a pleasure to have you here today with me. I'm speaking all about self care, sometimes in disguise of self abandonment. And this is a big topic because I think that people do this all the time and they don't even realize. And it's sometimes why we spin our wheels and we sometimes think that we're overly tired and we don't know why. Now, listen here. There's people who I speak to all the time that say to me that they do self-care. And yeah, maybe a bubble bath is nice. Maybe it's nice to dance around. Maybe it's nice to light the incense, do the journaling, set your intentions every morning while you sit in the sunrise. Like all that stuff is perfect. And I'm not saying not to do it. There is something really big about being able to regulate yourself throughout the day. There's something really big about stopping yourself from going into avoidance patterns with self-care and avoiding your work things, avoiding your health things. We're going to go all into that today because these are subconscious programs that are running the show, like I speak about in many, many episodes, but this is a different one that shows up. And it's the secret between you actually having great energy ongoing every day versus running out of energy just after lunchtime. So listen up. We are just about to get started. It is a really big topic. It's been a really hot topic inside of Women of Value this week. And I really posed the question to them yesterday. I said, I love that you're meditating. I love that you're doing the journaling. I love that you're being intentional. But is that only the first 15 minutes of the day? What do you do after that? And I said, I want you to notice where you feel things in your body. I want you to notice when you're making breakfast or when you're washing your face or when you're getting the kids ready or when you are driving. Like, what is your response inside your body? Because when I reflected it with myself, I said, yeah, well, when I'm rushing, if I think that I'm running out of time, if I think that there's a tiger, proverbial tiger running after me, there is a stress response happening in the background, right? So if we're thinking fight or flight response, then the body is on guard. The body is not in its beautiful receptive mode, it's in reactivity mode. And you'll be able to notice this. Is there any tension being carried in your shoulders or even in your head? Like you can touch the top of your head and like give yourself a head massage. And if it feels really quite tense, then you probably do hold a little bit of tenseness inside your scalp muscles. This is a really big indication because this is one of the more unconscious areas of our body. If you are like, if that's the best part of going to the hairdresser, and the other thing is like, if that's the best part when you ever get a massage, chances are you carry a lot of tension in your head. Chances are you go into fight or flight automatically, just while you're going about your everyday things. So, whilst it's good to do all those morning routines, how are you actually bringing in some calm, some presence, and also some nervous system regulation rather than reactivity? That's what I want us to focus on, regulation over reactivity. Because if you're falling in a heap in the afternoons, it's because you have energy leaks happening, and the energy leaks happen through the fight or flight response. No one was supposed to feel stressed throughout the day. It is totally normal to have little bouts of stress, 100%. We've got to be responsive to our life, right? But it's not okay if we're feeling stressed about everything from an undercurrent place because you think you're running out of time, you think you're running out of money, you think you're running out of clients, you think you're running out of food, whatever the thing is. All right. So I want you to start thinking about how can I care for myself in every moment? And sometimes it's just a matter of actually slowing down your breathing rate, slowing down how fast you talk, slowing down your thoughts to just one at a time, slowing down your movements, and even gripping things a little lighter. So let's go back to the car experience. If you're busy, right? You're busy, you get into the car, and you're gripping the wheel. I always notice whenever I'm stressed, I'm like gripping the wheel for dear life. And I'm like, I actually don't need to be gripping it this hard. And I have a little laugh to myself and I'm like, lighter, lighter. And I'll relax the shoulders, relax the head, take a few breaths, and probably change the music I have this amazing Spotify list that I play. I'll put it into the show notes actually, and it's called drone music, drone ambient mix, I think it's called. And it actually just takes you out of fight or flight instantly. And it just sounds a bit like, yeah, ambient music, like spa music, but nicer. And it literally just gives the nervous system that really big slow down signal. Because if you're not letting your nervous system slow down, then your ability to respond easily to life, to actually get things done that are important, it gets hindered really, really quickly. So slow down how fast you walk. Slow down the movements that you're making. Slow down how fast you wash your face or you eat your food or you drink your drinks. Nothing is as big a deal as what we make it out to be in our heads. And I think that this is a really big sign that a lot of people are operating from scarcity. And this is what I say inside Woman of Value, that it's a really big sign if you feel like you're running out of time. If you're like, I have to get this done right now. And you're not allowing yourself the space and you're not allowing your nervous system this space to create. I say this a lot, the space to create. Now, this could be anything. Some people, okay, if you're in business, let's put it in the context of you creating a social media post or you creating a blog post or you creating something for a client. Or the naturopaths and nutritionists, one of their number one things that they'll say to me is like, I'll procrastinate on writing a treatment plan. And I can teach you guys how to do that really fast using AI without giving away any anonymous, like keeping your clients anonymous, can definitely teach you that. But I'll talk about that in another episode. But I want you guys to think about how many things in your day you procrastinate with. Because if you're procrastinating due to perfection, it's the same thing that's playing out here. The perfectionist is actually operating from scarcity. The perfectionist is not concerned about progress. They already want the outcome before they're willing to step into the journey. And I'll say that again. The perfectionist is, in fact, the procrastinator. And the person who is procrastinating doesn't step into the progress because they want the outcome before they step into the journey. So the way to overcome it is to actually take messy action. And it doesn't mean that every single time in your life it's going to be messy. It doesn't mean that you're going to show up on your stories looking ratty every day. Not at all. It just actually means that you'll bring discipline and consistency into the mix. And I speak about this a lot. If you haven't heard this in other episodes, scroll back down inside the app and you'll find them. This is something that I feel I'm extremely committed to. And it's what comes through in the Catalyst program. It's why people choose to work with me, is because I'm so consistent and I utilize discipline, because discipline in the right circumstances builds freedom. And I've never met a person who doesn't want more freedom of choice, more freedom of time, more freedom to do the things that you really want to do. Because no one was meant to just work and then sleep and then eat and then go back to work again. We're actually here to experience our lives. Now, if you're getting stuck in the procrastination wheel, it means that your nervous system is not in a great space. Fear less, because there's so many ways that we can actually bring the self-care in moments of time. All you need to do is just be a little self-aware. Now, without judging yourself, just get curious. So, like I said, when I'm in the car, if I'm in a rush and I'm gripping the wheel, I'm like, oh, okay, we're gripping hard. And I just say it out loud and I release the grip. I don't let go of the wheel. I just release how tight I'm holding. Release the shoulders, release the tension from your body. Because you think about it, in a contracted state, how on earth do we receive? Can you see how the scarcity plays out? An abundant version of us is so relaxed. She already knows that it's working out. She already has so much evidence that it's already worked out. She's more relaxed. So the way that people think that they get to the end outcome is to be perfect and to work really hard, but it doesn't work that way. We have to realize that the relaxation, the self-care actually has our bodies feel safe, which then has us feel abundant, which then we get rewarded with more abundance because we're more receptive to those situations and opportunities to receive the abundance. Can you see how that happens? And can you also see that if you're trying to get the outcome before it's time for you to get the outcome never happens. So let's stop stressing about the end point and start being calm, Maybe you're not a calm person. Start being more surrendered to your experience. And that means that we're not going to be in control of every single thing every single day. That means that sometimes, let's speak about it in the context of health. Sometimes there's going to be that time where you don't have access to the foods that are on your food plan. Sometimes there's going to be that time where you're like, well, this is the best I can do with the options I have. And that is actually fine. Like, you have to live your life. There are going to be days where it might be pouring down with rain, and you might not have a walking pad, and you might not have a raincoat or an umbrella, or something's happened and you can't fit your walk in. So do something else. It doesn't mean you give up. And missing one doesn't mean you're going to miss forever. You know, if we go into the context of business now, if you are somebody who doesn't regularly show up on your social media and then you start regularly showing up, but not many people are looking, does that lack of validation externally stop you from showing up? Or do you have this internal motivation to continuously show up? Because the thing is, you need like billboards every single day. You see it as you saying, I am open for business and here I am. I am open for business and here I am. The more often you do that, the more often people are going to see it. If you're waiting for the perfect time, when is that? I'm still waiting to find out when that perfect time is. I'm not waiting, by the way. I'm not waiting for things to change. I'm not waiting for things to happen. I'm not waiting for permission. I'm not waiting for someone to say, okay, Amy, it's your turn. I'm taking my turn. I'm showing up every day. Things that are important for me, I show up for every single day. And I want you to start asking yourself these valuable questions. Because if you're going, okay, well, I can't possibly do that until I've done my meditation, and then I need to do my journaling, and then I need to do my breath work, and then it's like, all of those things are great. But if it's stopping you from actually showing up, is it great? Are you disguising it? Are you using the self-care as a disguise for actually being yourself, being your raw, authentic self, and being able to show up regardless of if the timing's right, regardless of if it's perfect? The most important thing that you could ever do is be consistent. Have the discipline to continuously show up and teach your nervous system that it's actually safe, that you being yourself is the safest thing. I would say it's probably one of the biggest journeys that you'll ever go on, because our entire lives are built upon somebody else's program. Most of the thoughts that go through your head every single day, somebody else's thoughts that has been wired into your subconscious mind for you to take on as a belief, for you to take on as a value, for you to take on as a thought, a feeling, an emotion. So I want you, let's think about in the context of looking in the mirror. If you look in the mirror and you hear someone's voice, whose voice is it? I bet you it's not yours. You've heard somebody else speak negatively of their body, or you've seen it on TV, or you've heard a friend or a colleague or a mum or a sister. Somebody else has said that. Is it truly what you believe to be true about yourself? I want you to start like bringing this awareness to yourself, because self-care happens momentarily. Slow yourself down. Ask, is this the truth? Do I really believe this? And then take action. You can do these things on the fly. Like, I'm really, really big about you being able to make progress every day. And so if somebody says to me that they're overwhelmed, like, you might be thinking, okay, this is all well and good, but what if I'm stressed every day? We start with the small things. Like I say, if you can take a walk, then take a walk. If you can be outside more often, go do that. If you can be off your screen more often, go do that. If you can create, this is like top tier. If you're creating every single day and you're expressing yourself, you are going to move mountains in a really short amount of time. Every single person who I come across who is willing to step in, regardless of the fear, regardless of it being cringe, regardless of what somebody might say who's in their family or friend group, if you can do that and you face the fear and you do it anyway, you are going to move mountains. And it's not just about what you think about yourself. It's about you actually speaking the words that are so important that the world needs to hear. And guess what happens then? You build self-belief. The more you care about yourself, the more you help your nervous system actually respond in a beautiful way, in that way of like that calm clarity, as opposed to fight or flight, as opposed to down low in this like freeze response, which is where procrastination lives. If you can actually just show up from a regulated place, people will feel that from you and they will want to work with you. So I want you to really take this on as something that you get to practice every day. I'm going to tell you now, I am not perfect at this. I still am human. I still have human emotions. I still am super passionate and opinionated about lots of different things. There's lots of things in this lifetime that I am not neutral about. And that's okay. And I'm not mad about it. It's just like, this is what I'm still here to speak about. I'm still expressing myself. But some of these pieces that I've actually practiced for a really long time, like the yogic philosophy that weaves through my life, I can tune into that really quickly and I can process something really quickly now. And I want to be able to give these sorts of methods to you in a tangible way so that when you're going through something, it's not like you're going to drop into a box breath. Sometimes you will, but not everyone knows how to do box breathing. By the way, if you want to know what it is, and if you're not sure, it's breathing in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and do 4 rounds of that. It literally decreases cortisol in your body by about 65% within a couple of minutes. So it's really, really great to ground you and bring you into clarity again, get you out of the fight or flight response. Not so great if you're in procrastination mode. It's not the go-to if you're in a freeze response, because if you're frozen, we need to warm you up. That's why I'm such a fan of walking. Walking is a macro motion. So anything you do with your arms and legs, that's going to actually get you out of a freeze response. So dancing, really, really good. Doing yoga, really good. Playing any sort of sport, really, really good. But definitely the easiest thing is to just go walking. Anything that you do that's across the body as well. So using the bilateral motion and moving your eyes from side to side can be really, really helpful. So we want to be able to have these tools, these tangible tools to be able to move through our life. This is actual self-care. This is you regulating yourself. And as I said, I'm not dissing the usual self-care because I love it too. I love a massage. I love going for facials. I love getting my hair done. I love having my nails done. All those things are wonderful. But obviously, you've still got to live your life. So if you're living your life currently like a tiger's running after you, let's start to bring some of these self-care practices into your daily awareness. Because the more you regulate yourself, the easier it'll be for you to keep your word to yourself. And then you'll have more self-belief, and then you'll be more confident, and the world will be a better place. The world needs what you have inside of you. So let's listen to ourselves first. Our body is always giving us these subtle cues. And if you're in a fight or flight response, or you're in that procrastination or freeze response, it's really, really important that you have the tools so you can come out of that and move through your life with ease. So I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. I've certainly enjoyed gifting it to you. So thank you for having me in your ears. If you haven't already, please like, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Share it with a friend. I know more people need to know about their nervous system. And even if you are a health practitioner and you're listening to this and you got something out of it, which I know you would have, share it with a friend, because the more people who get access to this information, the better the world will be. We need more regulated people helping other people regulate, right? So have a great week, and I'll see you on the next episode.